Okay guys, so let me get a couple of things straight before I start this video. First of all, Porter Robinson's Worlds is really a 10, Flume Skin is really a 10, Arca Self-Titled is really a 10, Depeche Mode's Spirit is a 10, Justice's Woman is a 10, and Audio Video Disco and Cross are 11s. Everything that has ever been released by Audiker, Aphex Twin, or Deadmau5 is a 10. Especially Audiker. And it's actually pronounced Aoti Kahuri, as it has been officially announced in a press release from Sean Booth and Rob Brown themselves. And their names are actually Sean Brown and Rob Booth. Also, Porter Robinson's World is actually a 257,000 out of 10, because even though I already said it was a 10, that is not actually sufficient. Also, Savant is, Genius, Mozart, God, something. Now that I've got all that out of the way, let's start out this video, shall we? Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle, where I talk about electronic music, both new and old, and today, it's both Easter and April Fool's Day, so how about we do a video that has nothing to do with either of those? Okay, so my, Aphex Twin, March Madness Bracket video went over pretty well, so I decided, why don't I do some more of those? These are gonna be fun. So I found a Deadmau5 one, and it's here. So this is gonna be interesting. It's only includes album tracks from random album title through while one is less than 2. There's nothing from Get Scraped or Vexillology or even W Drive 2016 album, which, you know, whatever. Sometimes things get whatever. Yeah, I'm just going through this bracket. I'm filling it out counterclockwise again, and I'm not taking it too seriously. It is April Fool's Day today, so, I mean, there is going to be some picks on here that are, I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with, because which wins any given choice just happened to go by whatever I happen to be feeling at this current moment. So, some of these picks don't even follow my top 10 list, like, the Aphex Twin brackets pretty closely followed my top 10 list, and this one not so much. So, we'll just see how this goes out. So yeah, if you get too angry at some of these picks, just remember it's April Fool's Day. This is not that serious. Just having fun with this. But these are how I honestly feel right at this current moment, so I'll just leave it at that. So let's start with the top left quadrant. Purakan? I don't know. Is that his car? Whatever. Okay, so our first pick is a city in Florida versus Ira. Ooh. I'm gonna go with Ira. That's one of my favorites from the 7 EP. And a city in Florida, it's a cool track, I guess, but it's not one of the more memorable ones from 4x4 = 12, personally. So yeah, Ira. Ira's good. Next up we got FN Pig versus Sometimes Things Get Whatever. And let's go FN Pig, I guess. Yeah, it's just a more interesting track. Sometimes Things Get Whatever. I mean, it helps establish the formula of his that would go on to show up in so many of his other tracks. But, yeah, FN Pig is probably the more enjoyable and interesting track overall. And then, ooh, Maths versus More Ghosts and Stuff. I'm gonna have to go with the obvious pick and go More Ghosts and Stuff, though it is a shame that Maths has to get kicked out so early, because that's a really good one, too. And we got There Might Be Coffee versus Errors in My Bread. Let's go with There Might Be Coffee on this one. Neither are particularly huge favorites, but There Might Be Coffee is more of a favorite than Errors in My Bread, definitely. Let's see here. Cthulhu Sleeps versus Infra Turbo Pay Kart Racer. If we were going the original Hacks Pick Meow or something, this might be slightly different, I don't know, but this might be more difficult, but Cthulhu Sleeps all the way. Maybe I would have ended up picking this one over the original Infra Turbo Pay Kart Racer, but the Wild One is less than 2 version of that track. Just, it's disappointing to me no matter how I can look at it, so yeah, whatever. Okay, so October versus Mercedes. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with October. That's been a fan of that one for longer. Just feeling that one more today. And there's another tough one. Arguru versus Channel 42. I'm gonna go Arguru. Oh, Channel 42 is a freaking great track, too. That's one of the best ones from Album Title Goes Here. Shame to see that one knocked out really early as well. And then finally, Alone With You versus Hi Friend. Let's go Alone With You. They're both good tracks, but neither of them are great tracks, in my opinion. But Alone With You's, I'd edge that one out a little more. So moving on from there, Ira versus FN Peg. I'm gonna go with Ira. Do always love me some piano tracks, and Joel is really good at those. More Ghosts and Stuff versus There Might Be Coffee. I'm gonna go with More Ghosts and Stuff. Bit of an obvious pick, I know, and I'm sure people are, well, you haven't been highlighting There Might Be Coffee enough. That is a really good track, but More Ghosts and Stuff I just listen to a lot more often. Let's see here. Cthulhu Sleeps versus October. I'm gonna go with the Cthulhu Sleeps. That's a pretty close one, too. I think October has the better melody, but Cthulhu Sleeps is, I think, just a more fun one to listen to, I guess. And then Arguru versus Alone With You, that one's a lot easier. I'm going to go with Arguru. And, okay, so finishing up this bracket, Ira versus More Ghosts and Stuff. I am going More Ghosts and Stuff. Yeah. I love Ira, but More Ghosts and Stuff is just a fantastic track. And Cthulhu Sleeps versus Arguru. I'm going Arguru. And I'm picking Arguru to win the whole bracket. That's a really nice track. Could deserve some more love, I think. Alright, so now it's time for the double brackets, the bottom left. So this one's gonna have some interesting ones. Alright, so I Remember versus Pets. I like Pets a lot, but going up against I Remember, come on. Yeah, definitely going up with I Remember on that one. It's a little more, kind of obvious, that one. Everything Before versus Every Tia. That one's also pretty obvious, in my opinion. Everything Before is almost certainly my least favorite track from 4 times 4 equals 12. That is not a satisfying ending to that album at all. And Every Tia is one of the better ones from, well, 1 is less than 2, so Every Tia, definitely. And then Complications versus My Pet is coelacanth. I keep wanting to say coelacanth, because that's what it looks like. Coelacanth? That's really how you say it? Are you kidding me? Whatever. But I did go with that one, My Pet coelacanth. Complications is my least favorite track from Random Album Title, personally. It's not super interesting one to me, but whatever. And then Sophie Needs a Ladder versus Somewhere Up Here. I'm going somewhere up here. That one's pretty obvious to me, too. I mean, Sophie Needs a Ladder, that's a good one. That's one of the better ones from 4 times 4 equals 12. But somewhere up here, that one's a pretty long-time favorite of mine. I gotta go with that one. Okay, now, Slip versus Gula. Ooh. That's a tough one. I like those tracks approximately the same amount, but I guess today I was just feeling Gula more. Yeah, this bracket's particularly getting whitewashed. A lot of stuff from Well 1 is less than 2. Alright, then Strobe versus Superbia. Strobe, obviously. Soma versus Creep. Soma. I like Soma a lot, but Creep is one of my favorite tracks from Deadmau5 ever. Creep is such a freaking good track. That's a really underrated one, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Creep, but I do wish Soma were placed elsewhere, so it could have gotten farther. And Some Chords versus Word Problems, obviously Some Chords. That's easy. So moving on from there, I Remember over Every Tia. That's a pretty obvious one. Somewhere up here over My Pet Coelacanth. That's pretty obvious to me. I do like that more, the rougher but also still kind of chill atmosphere of that one. That's kind of an underrated track in my opinion. That's a really good one. Strobe over Gula, because of course, and Creep over Some Chords. I do very much love Creep so much. I don't care. Some people would hope that Some Chords made it farther, but Creep is such a good track. It's such a good track. So, okay. I Remember versus Somewhere Up Here. Let's go I Remember. And Strobe versus Creep. I love both of these tracks so much. You know what? This is gonna piss so many people off, but I'm going Creep. It's April Fool's Day, and I get to fuck with people today, and I am just feeling Creep today more than Strobe. What you gonna do? And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is as well, so let's pick Creep to win the whole bracket. If you people doubt that I don't love Creep, I swear to God, that along with Terrors in My Head, those are the two tracks from Well 1 is Less Than 2 that I listen to the most, by far. They're two of the most listened to Deadmau5 tracks overall, by a pretty wide margin as well. So yeah, Creep is freaking great. I love Creep. Okay, so now we are doing the Hacks bracket, the bottom right. So let's just see where that takes us. Okay, Ghosts and Stuff versus Sia. I'm going Ghosts and Stuff. I mean, that's another pretty close one. Sia's a grower, but I don't know. I'd just call it my pendulum fanboyism or something. I do like hearing Rob Swire's voice. I'm going Ghosts and Stuff. So There I Was versus Lack of a Better Name. Let's go So There I Was. Lack of a Better Name, that's a good track. Not a huge favorite from that album, but So There I Was is also one of the better ones from Random Album Title, so we're going that one. And then Some Kind of Blue versus Bot. I'm going with Some Kind of Blue. Bot also is not a huge favorite for me from, for lack of a better name. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but it's not that interesting. Not that Some Kind of Blue is precisely the most interesting Deadmau5 track either, but I don't know. I'm feeling that one more today. And ooh, Animal Rights versus Not Exactly. I'm gonna go Animal Rights. I don't know, that one's a more fun track to listen to, I think, at this moment. So yeah, Terrors in My Head versus Bad Selection. Definitely Terrors in My Head. Um, I mean, Bad Selection, that's also a pretty big grower for me, but Terrors in My Head, like I said, it's the one right next to Creep, and I just love listening to that one so much. Just, it manages to be both hard hitting in one part and chill in the other part, and it doesn't feel unnatural or jarring putting them next to each other, so I love Tears in My Head. I'm going with that one. And Brazil Second Edit versus Raise Your Weapon. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going with Raise Your Weapon. But it just that track, it's just more of a part of me, I guess. And Brazil, I mean, I hate to see it gone so fast, but I don't know. I've listened to Raise Your Weapon a lot more over the years. All right, the Velt versus Nvidia. I'm gonna go with the Velt, though I do very much like Nvidia as well. I mean, I really like the 7 EP. I'm looking forward to hearing that Where's the Drop thing, that orchestra thing that Joel's doing as well. It's gonna mostly be tracks from 7, I think. And I'm not gonna bother with getting the title subscription for it though. Like, whatever. I can wait. I'm not that going out of my mind with anticipation for it. But yeah, The Velt is a classic track. I mean, whatever. And then finally, Superliminal versus Acedia. I'm going to go with Acedia. I mean, the actual track from All 1 is less than 2. It's fine, but I mean, I like the original version from the 7 EP a lot more than the final album version, but I mean, obviously, the Joel having alternate versions that are better than final album versions is not exactly news here. So, okay, moving on from there. Ghost and Stuff versus So There I Was. Gonna go with So There I Was. Some Kind of Blue versus Animal Rights. Let's go Animal Rights. I mean, Some Kind of Blue, it's not a lot happens in that one. Animal Rights is a little more exciting, I would say. Terrors in My Head versus Raise Your Weapon. I'm going Terrors in My Head. Still love that one. The Velt versus Acedia. Obviously, The Velt. That's obvious. And from there, So There I Was versus Animal Rights. Going with So There I Was again. That's a very nice closer to random album title there. And then Terrors in My Head versus The Velt. I'm going Terrors in My Head. What can I say? I do just very much love that track. I love that track so much that I'm picking it to win the whole bracket as well. Terrors in My Head. As I said, Creep and Terrors in My Head, they are just so freaking great tracks that I listen to a lot, even to this day. Some of my just go-to Deadmau5 tracks that I just am in the mood for a lot. So that leaves this top right bracket, Meowingtons? Yeah. So let's do that. One Trick Pony versus Royal's Lament. I'm gonna go with the latter. That's One Trick Pony. That is not a good track. Let's be real. FML versus Right This Second. Now there's a fitting matchup if I ever saw one. There's two very similar tracks, but I definitely would have to go FML on that one. Right This Second, it's good, but I mean, FML's just a more exciting track for me. And then Faxing Berlin versus Bleed. I'm going Faxing Berlin. That's another one of my most played Deadmau5 tracks in general. Phantoms Can't Hang versus, what is that? Professional Griefers. I am going with Phantoms Can't Hang on this one. Professional Griefers, that used to be a big favorite of mine, but I gotta be in the right mood for it, I think. Okay, Monday versus Sleepless. I'm gonna go with Sleepless. I do very much love Sleepless, though Monday is also a really good one that I don't know, that probably could have made it further if it were placed elsewhere in this bracket. Telemiscommunications versus A Moment to Myself. I'm going with A Moment to Myself. It's one of the best moments from the back half of Well, One is Less Than Two. Failbait versus Silent Picture. I honestly don't really care about this one all that much. Neither are really huge favorites for me. I guess I'll go Silent Picture because I like the chill stuff over the. I don't know. It's just the one I'm feeling more right now. I guess I don't know. And finally, 16th Hour versus Closer. 16th Hour. Closer, that's another one that some people have pointed out to me. It's probably better than when I did the review. Because I didn't pick up that the whole thing was a reference to Close Encounters of a Third Kind. I've never actually seen the movie, but I was like, oh, okay. I kind of get that track now, but I still think that track's a little too similar to Slip to fully excuse personally. And 16th Hour is just one of Joel's most underrated tracks ever. That is... 16th Hour is so freaking great. So my mouth is not working that well today. Okay, so, Really Is Lament versus FML. Let's go with FML. Just feeling the pump up stuff today, I guess. I don't know. Could go either way with that one. Faxing Berlin versus Phantoms Can't Hang. We're definitely going Faxing Berlin on that one. I mean, Phantoms Can't Hang is good, but Faxing Berlin's a pretty long-time favorite of mine, especially with the piano intro from the album, and that's a good one. Sleepless versus A Moment to Myself. Ooh. Moment to Myself, as I said, it is one of my favorite tracks from the back half of Well, One is Less Than Two. It's probably my favorite track from the entire second disc of that album, but I'm still gonna have to go Sleepless, because, again, it's just one of my most listened to Deadmau5 tracks. And then Silent Picture versus 16th Hour, obviously 16th Hour. Silent Picture's fine, I guess, but 16th Hour is awesome. And Silent Picture, I think Silent Picture is actually better with Grabbit's vocals on it. I probably liked this vocal version of Silent Picture more than I liked Let Go. Let Go's not that interesting, but we're not talking about W Drive 2016 album here. So, moving on from there, Faxing Berlin versus FML, definitely going with Faxing Berlin. And Sleepless versus 16th Hour. Ooh. That's a tough one, but today I think I'm feeling the 16th Hour more. Sleepless obviously ranked higher on my actual top 10 list when I made that, but right now 16th Hour is just... It's just such a kick-ass track. Like, so kick-ass that I even made it beat Faxing Berlin. How's that for something? That just... Not really much else to say there. So, okay, we are at the semifinals here. Arguru, Creep, Terrors in My Head, and 16th Hour. So, first of all, Arguru... No. Now that I realize I just did this bracket incorrectly, but... now that I realize it's Arguru versus Creep and 16th Hour versus Terrors in My Head, I actually did it Arguru versus 16th Hour and Creep versus Terrors in My Head. So I'm just gonna go with that. Tech with it. It's April Fool's Day. I can do things wrong. So Arkaru versus 16th Hour, I'm going 16th Hour. And Creep versus Terrors in My Head. This is like picking between your children right now. Like, come on. Bleh. But I'm going to go with Terrors in My Head. Just going to default to that one since it ranked higher on the top 10 list, I guess. Even though they're basically equal right now. And finally, 16th Hour versus Terrors in My Head for the final to win everything. You know what? Today, I'm feeling the 16th Hour. That's gonna win everything. I mean, Terrors in My Head would probably be more obvious for me personally, but 16th Hour is just... I'm just really feeling that one today. It's just such a kick-ass song that's just so awesome from start to finish. And Terrors in My Head is also awesome from start to finish, but I just listened to them back to back today, and I was feeling 16th Hour more. So, what have you? So, I guess I'll just leave it at that. So, just having a bit of fun. Obviously, I'm not saying that 16th Hour is suddenly my new favorite Joel song ever. This is what I'm feeling today. This is all just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it. But, I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave the comments in the comment thing down there. In terms of these March Madness brackets, I also found one for Daft Punk and one for Boards of Canada, so you might see those in the future as well. Though I had to edit the Daft Punk one a little bit because it didn't have 64 songs. But, yeah, so those might be some things that you might see in the near future. So I'll leave it at that. That's all for today. See you next time.